senior tech support rep for web services. Pretty much if you ever submit a heat ticket for permissions on your website, I'm pretty much the guy who takes care of that. I'm going to be talking about three topics. The first one is our suggestions or what we recommend you guys to put on your home pages and also subsites. The second topic is difference between a permanent and a temporary library. And the last topic is how to structure your subsites. Please, if you have any questions, just let me know. But I'm going to try to at least get to the questions at the end of each topic. Alrighty, recommendations for homepage and subsites. Basically, we want you guys to put any information on the homepage that pertains to everybody in your school, all faculty and staff. You're going to have a calendar, so you can put all the events that are going on the for the school on that calendar. You have a section for announcements. You can do the requests, which are all just custom lists, and I'll walk you through how to create those. Also, you'll see on your right-hand side, there's a section called School Links. We populated them with maybe about 10 links that we think pretty much every school is going to use, but I'll show you guys how to add or remove some in case if you guys don't use like Safari Montage or Edmodo. And on a subsite, I'm going to show you guys how to create some, but also on a subsite, we want you guys to only post any information that pertains to that specific group of users. So for example, if you're on a, let's say, high school and you want to create a subsite for every curriculum, so for example on here, if you create one for the science department, you can only post information that pertains to the science department. So for example, you can have a calendar, document library, and share pretty much anything specific to that department. All right, any questions on homepage or subsites? No? Okay, moving right along. Permanent NA versus a temporary libraries. Basically, a permanent library is a library that we want you guys to put files that require little to no change on a yearly basis. A good example would be any source documents or templates, files for any documents that you guys have in your school. Anything that's in that library is not going to be deleted at the end of the school year. Okay. A temporary library, we want you guys to put the current versions of documents, and any files in that library will be deleted before the start of the next school year. Okay. Any questions on that? And I'm going to show you guys some examples of some files that you can put on there. But the reason that we're deleting them at the end of the school year is for two reasons. The first one, confusion. If you put the current version of, let's say, the curriculum guide, anybody that's at your school will know exactly where to go and get that document, and other documents as well. And the second reason is storage. If we give all the schools unlimited storage within, 3 years maybe, I'm sure we'll probably fill up all the storage that we have available. So definitely we don't want that to happen because that could get expensive. Any questions so far? All right, so some ideas of what files you can put on a permanent library is, like I said before, the templates or the source documents for, and here's some examples that I thought about. I'm sure there's probably some other ones that I didn't think of, but you can put either the template or the source document for the curriculum guide. I'm assuming the schools are probably not going to have a blank one, so you can use the current one as the source document, and then when you're going to get ready to update it and that version is completed, you can move it over to your temporary library. If you look on your main page, you'll see that you'll have three libraries that are called school and either calendars, documents, or images. All those three, anything that says school is a permanent library. The ones that say shared documents, those are your temporary library. So once again, anything that you have in your shared library is going to get deleted before the start of the next school year. For you guys, since we're given to you now, we're not going to delete anything before the next school year, so it'll happen next year. And some ideas on what files you can put on the temporary libraries are going to be the current version of the following documents. That way, if there's a brand new teacher that comes to your school, they know exactly where to find those documents. Any questions? All right, so once again, anything inside of the shared documents will be deleted before the start of the next school year. We'll send you guys emails. We're going to communicate with all the schools before we remove anything. But that's not stopping you guys from, transferring, making a backup of those files, throw them on a server somewhere, anywhere pretty much. That way you can still have a physical copy if you want to go, and reference those files later on in the future. All right, and the last topic is structuring subsites. I already kind of touched on this, but basically wouldn't it be great if you created a site and have custom permissions? So for example, if you're a principal and you want to create a subsite and only let the members of your admin team be able to view it, anybody will be able to see the link on your main page, but if they click on it, you can create custom permissions and nobody will be able to view that site except for the number of people that you guys want. Some great ideas for subsites. We think most likely all the elementary schools are going to create a subsite for each grade. If you're a middle school, depending on how you guys run things at that school, you will either do grades or curriculum. And of course, we think high school, they're all curriculum based. So most likely they're going to create one for each course. All right, benefits of a subsite. When you create one, it's pretty much going to look just like how your homepage is now. You're going to have a separate calendar, separate discussion boards that you can create, custom lists, document libraries, announcements, and blogs. Good thing about a separate calendar is if you're at a high school and you want to write down every single event that you have going on in the school, especially when it comes down to the athletic department, you can pretty much fill it up. And then if you're somebody, let's say just a teacher that wants to see what's going on in the school, they could get kind of overwhelmed if they see the calendar full of events. So if you create a subsite for the athletic department, on their calendar, they could just, put all the dates for all the sporting events. And same thing with like departments. They could write down where, when and where they're going to have a meeting, anything. Same thing with the document libraries. They could put documents that are specific to that subsite. Any questions? You guys are awesome, by the way. Alrighty. And I'm sure you guys want to play around with your site. So I'm going to show you a couple things that you can do. For example, how to create a subsite, and pretty much anything else you guys want me to show you guys. I'm going to walk you guys through. Okay? All right, so on this page here, I have a template that we just created. Basically, this is what the template that we use to create your school collaboration sites. So if anybody wants to create a subsite, as you can see, I have a few here that are created, and I'll show you guys how to delete them also. But if you guys want to create one, let's say for a specific grade, from your home page, you'll see, let me remove this, sorry. You see the little gear icon on the top right, it's right next to your name. You can click on that and select site contents. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought there. When you get to this page, you can scroll down to the bottom. If there's two people from the same school, try not to name things the same thing. That way you don't have any, you don't pretty much scare SharePoint. So just use different names. and then try to do the same thing at the same time. If you're at a school that there's somebody already from that school that came to one of these trainings and they already created a subsite, you'll see them listed on the bottom. And if you do not have anything, it'll probably say you don't have any subsites on there. So just click on the new subsite button. On the first field, give it a title. So for this example, I'm just going to put 4th grade. Feel free to add a description if you like. On the next field, for the URL name, try to pick a name, keep it kind of short, because any libraries that are created after that, it's gonna add it right here after the slash. So if you pick something long, the URL name could get kind of long. So for this one, since I named it 4th grade, I'm just gonna put 4G. It's good to abbreviate on the URL name, but for the title, try not to use abbreviations if you know that everybody is not going to know what that abbreviation stands for. Okay, and under the template selection, we created some custom templates for you guys. If you go under the custom tab, you'll see most of you will probably have 3. One that'll say school template, the other one says school grade template, and school subject template. School grade template and school subject are exactly the same. The only thing that changes are the name right here on the left hand side. Once you create it, it'll either say subject calendar or grade calendar. That's the only difference. Other than that, they're identical. So pick one based on the subsite that you're creating. Okay, the last 2 sections, we're going to get into permissions later on, but right now, by default, username or username permissions as parent site is checked by default. The parent site is your main site, your top level site, your home page. Any site that you create underneath is called a child site or children. So if you see those, just giving you guys an explanation, because we've had a couple people before in the past not understand exactly what the parent site is. Also, if you leave this checked, any changes that you make to the permissions on the parent site would mirror down to all the other subsites, so you don't have to worry about making changes right off the bat, and you can focus on that later on. And the last question is if you want to use the top link bar from the parent site. Basically, the top link bar, if you scroll up, is the links that are listed up top on your main page. So if you want that site to be shown on there, just click yes or select yes. And once you're ready to move on, click on the create button. And this usually takes about a minute to create, maybe less, depending on the type of computer that you're using and the network. You can, or what you can do, what we strongly recommend, is leave it as same as the parent and then go into that site and then break inheritance and do custom permissions. All right, once the site is created, you guys are good? Okay. It'll take you to that subsite, and if it doesn't automatically show the site up here on the link bar, that job usually runs 30 seconds or every 30 seconds. So if you just refresh the page, it should show up on there. Okay, and once that site is created, you'll see that you have the document libraries, calendar library, and all those other libraries on the left-hand side. You have a calendar already, and the grade, the links. They're all going to be the exact same ones from the school links on the main page, and you guys, if you don't need them, you can just delete them, or you can edit them. Any questions on how to create a subsite? Sure. Mm-hmm. Correct, yes. All right, let's say if you guys want to rename a site that you just created, or you misspelled something, the way to rename it, make sure that you're on that subsite. From this screen, click on the gear icon again, and you want to select Site Settings. Once this page loads, you want to click on Title, Description, and Logo. That's under the Look and Feel category. And on here, you can change the name of the title, change the description if you like, and also change the URL name. And one thing before I get too ahead of myself, I want you guys to write down this address, which is portalhelp.ocps.net. Actually, you know what? All right, portalhelp.ocps.net. When you go to that site, there's a section on the bottom left called SharePoint Video Shorts. And in there's a section for SharePoint 2013. On that page, we've created a bunch of, a good number of how-to videos that will walk you through simple tasks like how to create a site, how to delete a site, how to add documents. Most of the videos are about maybe a minute to 2 minutes long. They're very straight to the point, walk you through the steps. Also, if there's a video that you guys want to have or that you want us to create, there's a request section on the right hand side where you can enter the message. It'll go directly to my email address, and we can create that video. Yes, ma'am. Okay, give me 1 second now, and I'll show you. All right, another site that I want you guys to write down is this site here. Once it decides to display, it's youtube.com/user/OCPS web services. That page we created, and it's going to show the same videos that are listed on portalhelp.ocps.net. The benefit to go into this site is that you could subscribe to the channel, and it'll let you know once we've uploaded new videos. So that way you can always stay in the loop. Everybody write that down? Okay. And really quick, I'm going to show you what that site looks like and where you can find the videos. So once you go to our YouTube channel, we've created a playlist for you guys. It's okay. We have, I want to say, like 4 playlists. Oops, did not mean to click on that. You'll see there's a playlist for school collaboration. On there, we're uploading all the videos from the guest speakers that come. And so like certain principals or assistant principals from the pilot schools. We have a miscellaneous section, but the ones that you guys are probably gonna definitely like is the SharePoint 2013. The videos are exactly the same ones that are listed on the Portal Help. The only difference is you can subscribe to the channel and you'll be alerted when we upload a new video. That way you always stay in the loop. All right, now give me 1 second so I can answer her question.
They're good. They're fine. They had subsites within subsites within subsites within subsites.
That's what I was.
Yeah, so I So everybody knows how to create a site? Some of us already know how to delete sites.
Yes. All right. Next, I'm going to show you guys how to delete a subsite. A few of you might already know. All right. So let's say this one that I just created, the 4th grade subsite, I want to delete. So let's say I went a little crazy and I created one too many subsites. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. All right, so if you know the subsite that you want to delete, make sure you're in that subsite, and I'll tell you because it'll show the title really big up here. So from there, click on the gear icon on the top right, and you want to select Site Settings. When Site Settings, the page loads, you want to click on Delete this site. That's under the Site Actions category. Okay, and once you click on that, you're going to get this screen. If you were the one who created the subsite, listed on the first line that says you're about to delete the following website, it's going to display the URL name. So if you were the one that created, most likely you'll remember the URL name. So if you want to verify that that's the correct subsite you want to delete, you can always look at that URL name. And then click on delete. And you'll be prompted with, are you sure you want to delete this site? Click OK. And then you'll get this message saying that the site has been deleted. And to go back to your website, you can just click on go back to site. The link might still show up here on the top link bar. The job usually runs within a minute to 5 minutes after. So if you get kind of antsy, you can just keep repeating, refreshing the page. And if that does not work, most of you should have a edit links icon on here. You can click on that and remove it. There's many different ways of removing links from the top link bar. I'll show you another one. So from the top level site, click on the gear icon, select Site Settings, click on Navigation under Look and Feel, scroll down to the bottom, and that link might be listed or should be listed on here under global. Actually, you will only have one. Global navigation is anything on the top link bar. Current navigation are the links that are on the left navigation. So once you remove it from there, hit OK, and it should be deleted eventually. Sometimes it just takes a little bit for it to be removed. All right, next I'm going to show you guys how to sync the calendar on the top level site to your Outlook account. This, unfortunately, since these are not your machines, Outlook is not set up for your account. If you've maybe launched Outlook already and gone through the initial process, you're more than welcome to follow. We do have videos on this, so you can reference it later on. I'm going to open up my Outlook so you guys can see that I don't have any calendars except for my own. There's nothing under other or shared. And I'm going to go here. So to add it, click on School Calendar. And once you're in the actual calendar page, you want to click on the Calendar tab. And this option here that says Connect to Outlook. Once you click on that, you're going to get this little dialog box that's going to say if you want to allow this website to open up a program. That will show up if even if Outlook is running. But if it's not running, it's just going to open it up. So once you click on allow, it'll either bring Outlook up to the main window. If not, you can just click on the Outlook icon. You're going to get this question saying if you want to, are you sure you want to connect to this calendar? So just hit yes, and within a minute, ignore this message. That most likely won't show up on yours. You'll see that now the calendar should show up on other calendar. Let me refresh it. You see that now I have the calendar under other. So if I check it, the calendar shows up also in addition to my calendar. Benefits of doing this: if you have a lot of events on either your school website calendar or your own personal calendar, it's easier to drag and drop events than having to go to SharePoint and create the events one by one. So for example, you see that there's nothing here on the 8th or the 15th. I can come here and click and drag the event. You don't have to drop it on that day. It'll automatically go to that date and copy the time and all the other information. So if you just release it, now you have that event already created. I'm going to drag another one. So when you go back to your SharePoint calendar, all you have to do is refresh it, and now you'll see that those events are on there. This works vice versa. So if you have any events that somebody put on the calendar that you want to add to your own personal calendar, you can do the same thing, just obviously vice versa. Click and drag from SharePoint to your calendar. This is good. It's just time consuming. You can click and select multiple events and click and drag those over. Once again, you can do this if you have the calendar on your school website. You can also connect it to your Outlook to transfer events over. Any questions on that? And once again, you can remove events by just deleting them from Outlook, refresh the page, and you'll see that now the 8th is gone. Once again, if you go to our either YouTube channel or Portal Help, that is listed under Outlook. It says how to connect a calendar from SharePoint to Outlook. So you just click on that and it will take you to our YouTube page with that video. Any questions? All right, going back to the Subsite, if you want to create this drop-down menu, so for example, instead of listing all the grade levels across the top, you can make one called, for example, grades, and then create a subsite within a subsite. By default, they will not be listed like this, and I'll show you how to change that. So for example, on this one that says grades, I'm going to create another subsite so I can show you from the top how to do that. So I'm going to call this one first grade. And there's a couple of things that I'm going to show you once you create a subsite within a subsite. Alrighty, first, when you create the second subsite, obviously the one that's inside of the main subsite, you'll see that it only now shows the links that are inside of that subsite. Most of the schools want to list the links that are on the top level site. So in order to change that, you need to go to the grades or that top level subsite, go to the gear icon, select site settings, and you want to select navigation under look and feel, and you want to select the first one, the one that says display the same navigation item as the parent site. That way it's easier for teachers or users to go back to the home page rather than having to run into trouble. And also you want to make sure that show subsites is checked. And when you do that, hit OK. And now you'll see that inside of the grades, it shows the links from the top level site. And when you do that, you will also get the drop down menu. Any questions? So from now on, if I were to make another subsite inside of grades, it'll automatically show up on that drop down menu. So if I go to site content, new site, call it second grade. Hit create. You'll see that when you go to grades, refresh the page, the second grade link should show up on the drop down menu. Like I said before, benefits from doing this is you can reduce the amount of links listed on the top link bar. Alright, next I'm going to show you guys an easy way of uploading documents. And you can use this for images as well. So for example, if I went to the school documents library, this little trick only works if you're using either Internet Explorer 9 and you have Office 2013 installed. But if you have IE 10 installed on your computer, then it doesn't matter what version of Office you're running. Correct. But if you have any version of Chrome or the latest and Firefox, this will work as well, and it doesn't matter what version of Office you have. Not sure why Microsoft made it so difficult. So on yours, it might look different. It might only just say new document, but if you're using Firefox, you'll see that it'll say or drag files here. So if you have this Explorer window open, and let's say this one is your current SharePoint or just the documents on your computer, you can just select or highlight the ones that you want, and you click and drag them over. Once you let those go, which I'm not going to do those, let's find different ones. Let's see, these 4 documents, let's say they're images, but if they're documents, you can just click and drag them on here, and they're gonna update or upload. That's pretty much it. So it makes it a lot easier to transfer documents over without having to do one by one, or yeah. And then of course to delete them, you can just select the files that you don't want. You can select them all, and 2 ways of doing it. Easiest way is just go to the Files tab and click on the little X to delete documents, and hit OK, and it'll dump them to the recycle bin. If you want to recover any files that you just deleted or that were deleted by somebody, all you have to do is go to the site contents area, and you'll see that there's a recycle bin link on the right hand side. If you click on that, it's going to list all the documents that were deleted. So you can select the ones that you want and then hit restore selection on here. Any questions on that? Okay. To give you a little bit more example on the permanent and temporary libraries, on the school document library, I created a bunch of dummy files, and I just named them blank, space, hyphen, and then the name of that document. That way, if I was a teacher. I know exactly what I'm looking for, and if it's a blank or template or source document. And if you go to the shared documents, I have the same files, but they're going to be the current versions of those documents by the school year and then the name of that file. These have nothing inside of them because they're just dummy files. Good thing with SharePoint 2013 is you have the web apps, the Office web apps. So if I wanted to make a quick change to that document, you can just click on it and it's going to open up Word, the web app version of Word. And you can click here to edit that document. So you can make changes. And click on the little disk icon, and when you go back to the shared documents library, you'll see that it was just modified a few seconds ago. So when you were to open it again, you'll see that the changes are there, which is kind of nice.